Previously on Survivor, the players were tricked. Ellie actually wasn't voted out. Instead, she was given a clue to a third hidden immunity idol. The players competed in their first individual immunity challenge of the season, where Elliot secured himself safety. Players had talks of idols, but no one knew where they were except for Ellie.
Found a second idol.
People are talking strategy a lot more.
Annie approached Ellie and Josh, who feared Steven's advantage and the veterans teaming up. But in the end, they decided to target Jordan, one of the bigger challenge threats in the game. 7 remain. Who will be voted out tonight?
I'm not gonna lie, am I happy that Jordan's gone? Yeah, I am. Wanted him out from the beginning, so that worked out really well.
Seems to be pretty consistent. People like to write my name down, so I'm getting used to it. Kind of figured that going into conversations that I had with individuals. So I was a little shocked though, because Steven was on our side and we kind of thought he was gonna flip on us. So
I was honestly surprised because Annie had told me we were voting for Chris, and I was the one who voted for Chris, so that was a little awkward and shocking on my part. So yeah, that definitely blindsided me.
Well, as part of the majority alliance for that vote, I was a little shocked that Steven voted for Chris because I guess he told Annie that, but Annie didn't believe him, and I wouldn't believe him either, but I guess he was kind of working with us. Anyway, I'm confused, I don't know, but the big thing is that Jordan's gone, so that's one of the 3 that needs to go, so I'm happy with the result.
I did get a vote. I'm not sure who voted for me. It was kind of a surprise to see my name. I guess it wasn't a surprise. I guess I'm assuming people are probably targeting me at some point too, but I don't know. I guess you shouldn't be surprised if you don't have immunity to see your name.
Surprised, the first time my name hasn't been in the bucket to go. So that was also a good feeling I didn't have. That makes me feel like I've formed a couple of alliances that I think are strong.
Welcome you guys to your next individual immunity challenge. Elliot, I'm going to need you to take that back. Thank you. Immunity, back up for grabs. Here's how today's immunity challenge will work. Each of you will take turns. You got a golf club and a ball. Your goal is simple, to be the closest person. You don't want to be the furthest person away from the target. The furthest person away each round will be eliminated from this challenge. We do that until only 1 remains, and they'll win the final immunity challenge. Everybody understand? Okay.
the final immunity challenge?
Yeah. This immunity
Oh,
challenge.
okay.
Whoa! Fast forward a quick.
I was like,
Well, that's a twist.
That's a Survivor first.
We'll win this challenge. Good luck. We'll drop our spots. Thank you. Okay. Trying to get as close as you can to that yellow bucket. We'll be back. Play hits it. Right there. That's the play spot. I'll grab the ball. Whoever's furthest away, I'll just grab that ball. Chris is up next. Annie, you're up.
Wow.
Roll back. You can't figure that out.
Annie's further away so far, so Chris will advance to the next round.
That one's fine.
Yeah, you're still up.
Oh,
Keep the farthest one.
You want to keep the furthest one away because you're slow. Can't be going. We're not going. Annie is still further away. Steve-O, next. Steven, further away. Elliot's up next. You're going to win a second individual meeting challenge.
Beast!
boom! He's on a roll
I wonder which was
now.
closer to that.
I feel like Elliot's been playing.
Wait, did you hit
Right.
Been hustling.
How many
Ellie's up
I'm
next.
about as good at this as I am at bowling. It's not very good.
Good guy.
Ellie, further away.
That's everybody.
Ellie, eliminated from this challenge, cannot win immunity.
It's the same order.
Start in the end. Ellie will go first this time. And then Annie.
Wanna go backwards?
Same bucket, or are we going to the...
Yeah, you're still going to yellow bucket. Elliot, good spot right there. Annie's back. Oh, Annie did a good one.
High school for a reason.
That's your big softball.
1 year. I am. I know.
I'm not cool. You're saying like, no, that's cool. Like, I don't know
Joshua's closer. Steven, furthest away. Chris, either
Guy five you on said she was.
Chris is out of this challenge. Whoever was. Yes, so you're up. Play hits that.
Are you just kind of like side? Yeah. That's what's throwing me off.
Clay, Steven, Annie, and Elliot.
Oh my god.
Oh, Annie.
You got an okay roll on it. The wind is helping you.
A lot of wind, so.
Shirt.
Steve was definitely close. Elliot's closer.
Yes.
I know, man.
Clay eliminated furthest away. We're down to Annie, Steven, and Elliot. Good shot.
Pressure zone.
Steven definitely went to the final round.
Hey, don't back up. Wrong person. Still beat me. Shut up.
Elliot's closer. Annie eliminated by like this much.
I want to see the ruler out there.
So it comes down to Steven and Elliot for immunity. Yellow. Oh, and Steven hits the curve. Elliot can at least do it. He got it. Elliot wins his second individual immunity in a row. Guaranteed a spot in the final 6. As for the rest of you, one of you will be the second member of the jury. I'll give you time to strategize. Good luck.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big target on my back now. I don't think people are going to like that I got both immunities, so I'm really going to have to figure out a better strategy now on who's going to want to take me out and how to find out if I can change their minds or anything. So, I'm happy to get the victory, but now I really just need to be careful.
Kind of disappointed I didn't win that one with my golf skills. So, next challenge.
I've pretty much kept the same strategy of staying low and just keeping my head down and not really talking too much. And then when there's a majority vote, I feel like I can just tag along and not try to shake things up too much. Because I think if I start to shake things up, people are gonna want to get me out of here. So I'm just kind of laying low and making my move.
But I'm also a little worried because now Elliot's won 2 individual challenges. So I feel like him and Clay are both kind of athletic. And, if I can't get Chris out, I think there are another 2 that I would be looking at to get out next.
Elliot's starting to look like the bigger threat here in these individual immunity challenges, but still, if he keeps winning immunity, there's not much I can do about it.
And I think before this, my name wasn't really getting brought up, but I think now, if I don't get another immunity, I think my name will definitely be in the hat. So I just have to figure out how to address that.
The last couple of tribal councils, the voting hasn't gone the way I thought it was going to, which is never a good thing.
Well, Clay and Josh are still staying true to me, and they've been good, and they tell me if anyone's talking about me or not, so that's good.
I thought I could trust a couple people. It was Jordan, but now he's voted out. I thought I could trust Steven and Ellie, but one of them switched their vote on me. They both said they didn't, but obviously one of them did. So we'll see what happens going forward.
Ultimately, I need to pick up my physical game in my individual challenges, but socially, I've spread myself across a few people.
Clay, I've been working with Clay. He's definitely had my back, but he was talking about how my name was getting thrown around, and it might just be Chris just throwing someone else to try to save himself, and that's all that Clay was communicating to me. But the way that Clay did it made it seem more like he would consider it, as opposed to having my back to tell me
I definitely still can't trust Chris. Definitely can't trust him, but I don't know. It's not that hard. It's not that easy to trust Annie as well. But gotta go with the lesser of two evils. So I might have to go with Annie. I might have to trust her.
I don't know. I really don't have a plan, which is probably a bad idea. And I'm almost positive it's going to be my name coming up in the bucket.
Right now, Annie and Josh, I currently am aligned with them for the moment. We'll see what happens. I shared with them one of my clues for an idol. Well, the other one I haven't found yet. I only shared it to them because I really wanted to solidify our alliance, and so that I would know that I'd have at least two people solid and behind me.
I am trusting Ellie because she told me about her clue. She actually showed me her clue, tell me it was in a tree and a look at husks.
Right now, I would probably say me, Ellie, and Josh.
So, thanks to Ellie's clue and her trusting me, I found an idol in the tree husk, and it says, "Congratulations, you have found the Amity idol. With this idol, you are only allowed to play on other players. You may not use for yourself. You are allowed to play this idol on 2 people at the same tribal. In order to use this idol, you must wait for all the votes to have been cast and must wait for Drew to ask if anyone would like to play a hidden immunity idol. Now would be the time to do so. At that time, you may stand up and present this idol to Drew and let him know who you're playing it on. This idol is only good until the final 5. You are able to give this to someone as well if you so choose."
My strategy has changed. Up until now, I've been kind of on my own doing my thing, collecting idols apparently. And now I am aligned with 2 people. So, I think I want to keep that alliance until, as long as possible until we can't, have that alliance anymore.
She told me that she actually has another idol. So I just, because I asked her before she told me that, I said, "Hey, I found this because of your clue. So if you want it," before I even read it, I was like, "Sure." She's like, "Hey, keep it." I was like, "Okay, let's read it." And I told her it's to play on somebody else. So obviously it's no good to her to actually keep. It's better for me to have it. But I'm hoping that works, that maybe she would be willing to play her idol on me, and obviously I would play her idol that I found, essentially, for her. So I asked her permission to tell Annie what she said was fine. If she said no, then I was probably going to just have to tell Annie in secret, but it's out in the open, so I need to go and tell Annie.
I definitely plan to stay loyal to them until at least the final 4, and then kind of reevaluate it at that point. I think that's kind of what all that we've kind of talked about is at least we know we can get this to final 4 somehow with Josh, Ellie, and myself, and somebody else, one of the remainders. So
You have to be worried that it could be me, but I'm hoping that my alliance is still my alliance.
Having a good time. Like I said, I need to step my game up and win a physical challenge here. Get the immunity moving forward.
Welcome you guys to your next tribal council. Elliot, how does it feel winning your 2nd immunity challenge in a row?
It feels really good. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I think now there's a bigger target on my back, so I just have to be careful.
Awesome. And Steven, how did that last challenge do? You were up there with Elliot. Did you think you were gonna win, or what was your thought?
I was gonna have a better shot than I did, but I just, whatever happened. I just tried to go up there, give it the best shot I did, see what happens. That way, better shot. So you got the necklace, I did. So things just have to play out the way they did.
Awesome. You guys have been talking a lot about trust in this game. Is there a way you can trust someone 100% in this game, or how can you trust someone in a game where it's backstabbing deceit to get to the end? Ellie?
I think it's just difficult. There's a lot of people, and you just have to hope that you're trusting the right person. Although it's easy, they could definitely turn around and form another alliance with someone else. So it's a waiting game. See what you did paid off or not.
Awesome. And Chris, Just talk.
Talk about what?
Talk to me. Where do you feel like you sit in this tribe? Do you think you're in a good alliance? Do you think you're in the majority, or do you think you're on the bottom?
I think it's hard to tell. I don't know. The voting hasn't quite gone the way I thought it was going to the last couple of times. So
Smells like someone ran
not
over
quite
us.
in the know as I thought. So
Clay, what's been going through your mind in this game? Have you seen someone that you're like, I like him, I want to work with him, or I don't think they'll benefit my game moving forward?
So the person that comes to mind is the person that's been removed from the game twice. That's still here, Elliot. She's a different breed. There's 2 girls here, and she continues to be a valuable asset for whatever team or group she's a part of. So I see her as a threat, but someone maybe like the one who can work with too.
Josh, how have you been holding up?
Well, it started off getting a skin knee, so that was a good start. And I don't know, we were all just surviving.
Awesome. And is anybody worried tonight that they will be the ones going home? Everybody but Clay and Steven yet again. But yeah, we're gonna soon find out. This family of 7 will soon be a family of 6. Elliot, you have immunity. Are you gonna give it up to anybody else? No. Elliot is holding on to it. Elliot is the only person you cannot vote for. With that, it is time to vote. Chris, you're gonna be up.
It's midday, and this is probably one of the last predictable votes from me. I'm going to hold true on this, and rest of these gentlemen. Apologize. Have a good life. Thank you. Blindside suck if it happens to you. Getting smooth.
Going with the flow. Oh shit, almost like flip that. Chop. On the bloopers.
Okay, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I'll read the votes. First vote, Josh. Chris. So 1 vote Chris, 1 vote Josh. Chris. Chris. That's,
Alright, sure.
I knew who that was as soon as I saw it.
that's 3 votes. 3 votes Chris.
It's the heat. It's getting to you.
3 votes Chris. 1 vote Josh. The second person voted Survivor, Papago Valley, and a second member of the jury, Chris. Chris, I need you to bring me your bandana. Chris, the tribe has spoken. It's time for me to go. As for the 6 of you, the unanimous vote at this point in the game means next round should be a very interesting one. You guys can go on and head back.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode. Next
Survivor's
time
ready?
on Survivor.
Go.
I knew it was coming. As soon as Jordan got voted out last time, I'm pretty sure everyone knew him and I were in an alliance together. So once one person goes, then you can tell who's targeted next. And especially with the way it seemed like no one really wanted to talk to me about strategy after the last challenge. So usually that's a bad sign. So I kind of knew it was coming. So not much I could do about it.